Hi, welcome back. Hope you had a good Christmas and a good New Year. I've had a busy one, so I haven't had a chance to do much to the tractor since before Christmas. I have got the glow plugs in and wired up. I've bled the fuel up and I've got a big leak from the diesel pump I've got to sort out. I've got a new starter motor on it now. Yeah, other than the diesel leak, we're sort of ready to start. I have cranked it over. It has got oil pressure. Very good oil pressure, but it did have before I took it apart, to be fair. So I think we're good to run it once we sorted this diesel leak out. I'll show you the diesel leak. Hang on, pull my phone out my pocket. I'm getting a bit more proficient with the filming, so I can film this with my phone, and by the magic of editing it'll appear on the video, so that's good. It's not as easy as it sounds for an old man like me. I say old, I'm 48, I'm 49 this year. I'm not really old at all, but I feel about 90. But I'll film this here. I took the throttle shaft, sorry, let me zoom out a bit there. The throttle shaft was dripping, it needed a new O-ring. So I put an O-ring in it, but I'm now leaking diesel. Sorry, get rid of that wire. We're leaking diesel out of this top housing, so I just need to bodge a gasket in there. I'll buy the rebuild kit for the pump and put a proper gasket in it, but I don't need to worry about that right now. But I need to stop this leaking, because it's quite it's squirting out. Oh, the puddle I had on the floor's gone. I've still got a big puddle down there where it's leaking out the fuel tank tap. I might just put the original fuel tank tap on it. But yeah, my glow plugs are in. I've still got to clean up the fuel filter housing. I've got to clean up the oil filter housing and get that painted. And I have still got to clean up the dynamo and get that painted. But I'm not worried about that for the minute. I just want to get the engine running. I've wired in all the dashboard. All of this is working. I haven't put the new oil pressure gauge in yet because I've got to find a fibre washer to seal the pipe to it. And I did buy a used dashboard off eBay that's knackered, but it's got the bracket I need. It's got this bar with the bracket for the hold down bungees for the bonnet on. We'll address that when we get to it. But everything on here is working. I haven't wired up the connected the pull to stop, but we have the glow plug system working. Now, the glow plug system isn't really covered. The manual doesn't give you any wire connection identifications for these bits, but I'll just quickly explain the glow plug system. These originally came with 9-volt glow plugs, so the power, when you turn that so the glow plug light comes on, the power runs through this ballast resistor under here to drop the voltage. And when you actually go to start it, it activates the glow plug relay, which is down in there somewhere, and that actually bypasses the ballast resistor, because once it's cranking, the voltage will drop because the starter motor is draining all the voltage. Technically, you don't need any of that because these are 12-volt glow plugs. But for the purposes of originality, I've bridged the ballast resistor, so the ballast resistor isn't doing anything. But I've kept that all as it should be, just because, you know, that's how it should be. Other than that, yeah, I think we're ready to start it once we've mended this fuel leak. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to whip the diesel pump off and we'll mend the leak, and then we'll go for an attempted start, I guess. Yeah, I'll get the camera set up. I'll film me taking off the diesel pump because, you know, why not? So I'll get that off, we'll get that on the bench, and we'll cure the fuel leak. The workshop is a mess. I built, well, my brother built 95% of his recovery truck, luckily. So that is why I haven't got much done in here over Christmas. I've got a pile of insulation lent up against the back of the tractor. The roof was leaking next door, so I've put a new roof on and I've got to insulate it. It's just a tin roof like in here, but that is done. That's nothing to do with the tractor project, but I'm going to ignore the mess in this workshop, because once this is done, it's time to address the mess in here. It wants painting. I want to insulate the ceiling and just generally have a bloody good sort out. There's a lot of junk in here that shouldn't be in here, and we'll address that soon at some other point. I'm not worried about that today though. So I'm going to get the diesel pump off, we'll cure this leak out and see if we can't get this running. So bear with me and we'll do that. Oh, quite straightforward to get the diesel pump off, mainly because I haven't done everything up. I'll probably speed this up, so I won't bother talking. No one wants to hear what I'm on about anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, right, diesel pipes. Once it's all on and working, I'll go around with a little brush and touch up the paint where it needs it. I am not going for a concourse tractor here. I just want a nice tractor. I don't really see the point of this concourse nonsense. I want to use this tractor. So it's going to get mud on it. It's going to get scratches, no doubt. But it should outlive me, hopefully. I think, what is it? This is a I want to say it's late 1973, this tractor. So what's that? 73, 83, 93. I think it's 51 years old, I want to say. I worked it out before. So if I can get it to last another 50 something years, I'll be long gone by then. And the moment I die, the kids will put it on eBay and that'll be it. Done. And I honestly don't blame them. Although they might want to keep it as a memory for their father. But again, probably not. Luckily, I haven't connected any of the throttle linkage up on this diesel pump. I've got to clean up the throttle linkage and get that painted. There's still quite a lot to do on the tractor. Where are we at the moment? Well, all the major mechanical stuff is done. The gearbox is fixed, the diff's fixed, the wiring is mostly in place. I know that, I'll just throw that down there. I know the dynamo works, although it needs cleaning up and painting. I bought a new bearing for that as well, which is on the bench behind me, because it is a little bit noisy. Get that out. Still got quite a lot to do to it, basically, but we are getting there. It's coming down really to the cosmetics. I'm going to leave the 3-point linkage on the back until the end. I want to get there. Once this is all done and sorted, I want to get the bonnet sorted out. Bodywork is not my forte, but I'm pretty convinced I can make that bonnet look good. It's just a bit beaten up on the front. That is a problem with a loader tractor. This has no guard on the front to protect it from stuff crashing into it, so we'll have to address that later on. That's that one off. We got, I think that's a 9/16. Luckily, when you don't put tools away, you're never too far from the spanner you need. It'll be on the floor somewhere. But like I said, that is something I will be addressing soon. The workshop is a mess. So once the tractor's done, we'll get the workshop sorted out, and then we'll get the ploughing and do the plough, because I do want to take this to the local show this year and do a bit of ploughing. Never ploughed in my life, but I need to go and do some ploughing because that justifies owning the tractor, you see. I would use this for mowing, but I've already got a very good lawnmower, and I'm about to purchase another lawnmower off a local chap, which is just a bigger version of what I've got. I don't know the model, but it's a Cantax. It's a nice mower. It's got a little cab on it as well. That's very posh. When you ride on a lawnmower, it's got a cab, you know you made it in life. But hopefully we can sort this diesel pump leak out. I still don't know at this point if this diesel pump's even any good. I just don't know. But we'll find out when it's running. If we get it running today, I should be more positive than that, shouldn't I? When we get it running today, we will I might just slap the radiator on it so I can warm it up. I'll see how I get on for time. But in this video, we will be hearing this tractor run. Good or bad, it's going to run. We get that pipe off. And then we can get this diesel pump over on the bench and try and cure this leak. I need a 13mm spanner. I haven't got one of them lying around on the floor around me. Oh, I'll tell you what I have got though. I've got a 13mm socket. I have. That'll work. I've only got one nut holding the diesel pump in, because the fuel linkage goes on with the under the nuts. So we'll sort that out. I just want to hear it run. If it runs and it works fine, we can fit it properly, and we can get the throttle linkage and the stop cable connected. But there is our diesel pump. Let's get that over on the bench and see if we can't mend this leak. Okay, now I know from last time I looked high and low. I haven't got a little socket that fits these little star bolts on the top here, but I had to pull one of these out because these bolts here stop that lever coming out. And obviously when I took it apart last time, I didn't get it on right. Let me get some mole grips. They might work, but I really am reaching critical mass with the mess in here. It needs addressing, along with 1,001 other jobs I've got to get working on. Like I said, I will order this a rebuild kit and replace this gasket with the correct one. But just for today, I just want to try and stop it throwing the diesel out. I will confess, I am not going to get involved in the dark art of a diesel pump. I've never pulled one apart before, and I'm not about to start now. I'm hoping I don't need a new one because they're like 500 quid with the VAT, which is a lot of money. Like I said, the tractor, before I pulled the tractor apart, it didn't rev up. Let me get the tractor didn't rev up, so I thought that's a good opportunity, rather than investigating why it wouldn't rev up, just bring it in and refurbish the lot. But the engine was quite worn. Well, the engine was very worn. Hopefully that was the reason why it wouldn't rev up and not this diesel pump. But we'll find out soon enough. There's one of our bolts. It didn't leak from here before I'd done the O-ring, so it's obviously something I've done to upset it. But I really didn't think I'd disturbed it enough to create such a big leak. It's a big leak, it literally squirts out about, well, that's only with the hand primer on the lift pump. Nope, sorry, I lie. Oh, do you know what? That gasket looks fine in there. The gasket is fine. I think I just didn't do these little nuts up tight enough. Give me a moment. Let me see if I can't find a socket that fits this. Give me 2 minutes. There we go. Right, I've got a 1/4 inch ring spanner that fits them. That's quite annoying. I could have just tightened these up on the tractor. I looked high and low for a socket to fit these nuts. It didn't occur to me to just use a ring spanner. But I'm looking forward to sorting this workshop out. Get the walls painted. I'm going to insulate the roof. I've got to make new big doors to go on the front. I've got an opening over there that used to be a door, but I've blocked it up. That wants doing. I don't know that I've got the right O-ring on the throttle shaft either, so that could still drip. But like I said, I'll buy a rebuild kit for it. Right, I've tightened that up. I'll put it back on the tractor and see what we've done. Okay, the diesel pump is back on. I've left these pipes a little bit loose, just so we can bleed the diesel through. So here goes. No. Let me tighten that battery terminal up. Let me grab a spanner and do that. There's one. I think it's a 7/16. Well, this is probably metric, but yeah. Can I get away without doing that? There, we got diesel coming out of those two. Let's tighten them up. So what do we reckon then? Place your bets. I can't comment. I don't actually, like I said, I don't know that the diesel pump's any good. It could be that it's tired. It could be it's fine. I have got great oil pressure reading on the gauge though. I'll show you that momentarily. Tighten these up. There is a bleed on the diesel pump, but to be honest, you don't need to use it. We've got smoke. I don't know whether that's in shot or not. Let me just lift the camera up. Actually, if I come back a bit further. There, you can see the exhaust now. And you can see we got smoke. Now I've got no throttle hooked up on this, so I'll set the throttle halfway. Let's give it some heat. Quite a lot of heat. Actually, let me just get me... I was fiddling with the electrics yesterday, but let me just see if I've got power. Yes. Right, we'll give it some heat. Ah, I could fill this silence with some music maybe. Or probably not. The only problem I got is I don't know, that's flat out. Right, okay, the camera battery went flat then, but you didn't miss much, other than creating quite a lot of fog. I think I've still got a leak from the diesel pump. I'm probably going to have to look into that, but that is not going to stop us getting this running today, even if we've got to use some... I don't think I've got any, actually. I haven't got any Easy Start. Don't use Easy Start to start a freshly rebuilt engine. Work out why it's not starting. But I'll give it some more heat. This is a bit of a pain really when you don't know whether the diesel pump's any good or not. I've got it set on the timing mark right. I am 99% sure the timing's set right. But until it runs, you don't know. I'm not standing doing nothing, I'm heating the glow plugs up. Right, that should do us. Running. Here's what we're seeing on the dash. Great oil pressure. Running at about 1200 RPM. Oh, she sounds good. I have still got a leak from the diesel pump. We are leaking from the diesel pump still. Not really sure where the leak's coming from. It runs. Oof. It stinks. There we go. Sounds good. We're spitting a bit of oil out the dipstick hole because I broke the dipstick tube. I've got to get one of them. Our main problem is the diesel pump leaking. I'm going to buy the diesel pump a rebuild kit and change the gaskets I can get to easy before I fork out 500 quid for a new one. But yeah, let's see how easy it restarts. I'll give it a bit more heat again. Okay, it won't idle. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure what the idle should be on these, and obviously it's not warmed up. But I don't know that we're going to get it running properly with that much diesel leaking out the pump. But she sounds good, oil pressure's good. I've got one drip. I've got no, like I said, I've broke the little tube that the dipstick sits in, so the hole's quite low down, but it's only dripping out of there. But she sounds good. So our next challenge then is to sort that diesel pump out. And what I'll do, whilst I'm waiting for a rebuild kit for the diesel pump, we'll get on and paint the dynamo and the oil filter housing. I've painted the manifold with high temperature manifold paint, and the inlet manifold's just bare aluminium at the moment. I might even leave that bare aluminium. No, I'll probably paint it actually, as I've got to paint those bits. I'm running out of bits that go dark blue at the moment, so if we get the oil pump, the dynamo and the inlet manifold painted, I'll order up a gasket kit for the diesel pump. But she's a runner. Very pleasing. Nothing else obviously leaking out of it. Looks good. Right, well that's probably it for today, because my diesel pump's leaking. I'll probably spend the rest of my afternoon tidying up a bit, because it is a mess in here. Get this insulation moved next door. And yeah, well, as we're here and this is a short video, I'll show you what we got to do with the roof. Here we go, let's go for a walk. It's cold out today. Everything's frosty. It's actually quite a nice day other than the cold. Let's go in here. I got this as a secret Santa from one of my employees. I don't know about you, but that just looks right. Maybe I should have been some kind of war hero. But here is my office. We had a leak. This ceiling was put up in a hurry about 4 years ago now, I think. And we had a leak. It's gone mouldy and fallen down. It all wants ripping down and finishing up. But it's got new tin above this part of the roof. If you want to know where we are, look through this door is the workshop. But I've put new tin on this roof, and we've had a lot of rain in the last few days, and I've got no drips. So I've got to put my pool table back up here because we took it out for the Christmas party. And then, yeah. So that's probably going to be it for today. But we've got the tractor working. Runs nice. Very pleased. But as you can see, we've only run it for a minute. and we got a big puddle of diesel on the floor. It always did leak. It dripped from this shaft, but since I've mended that, I seem to have aggravated it. It probably just wants this gasket replacing. But as I wasn't sure whether the O-ring was correct in here, we'll buy a rebuild kit and sort that out properly. But it revs up, so I think the diesel pump's good. Happy days. Let's give it another go. Fire in the hole. She runs. Okay, like I said, hope you had a good new year, and next video hopefully we can run it up and we'll get a radiator on it, and then we can move on to something more exciting. The bonnet is beaten up at the front. I've got the new grille, we've just got to straighten it out a bit, fix the headlights. It's not actually too bad, the bonnet. It's pretty straight on the top. There's no major rot in it. In fact, as I've been looking at these tractors, this one's remarkably rot-free. I've been pretty fortunate, really. It always goes to show that just because it was an ugly tractor doesn't mean it was a good tractor. Wasn't a good tractor. And that diesel was still dripping down there. And like I said, I got a puddle down here from the fuel tank tap. It did come with an olive that I've probably lost, but I'll see if I can find that and fix that too. But thanks for watching. Catch me on the next one. Remember to like and subscribe. I'm going to try and make the videos a bit better this year, put a bit more thought into them, and hopefully, yeah, we can get some action going on. I'll see you soon. Cheers.